Things I noticed while on semen retention and NoFap. Therefore, NoFap is a term that refers to a method that is supported by a certain segment of the online community. They refer to the refusal to engage in porn, masturbation, and orgasm as PMO, which is the same thing as NoFap. According to the organization, as soon as a person quits masturbating to pornographic material, they will be free of several dangerous and debilitating medical symptoms, such as semen and not ejaculating at all, even when having sex with a partner. NoFap has some crossroads with semen retention in that both encourage people to avoid PMO. It makes no sense to hold back from orgasming and releasing tension with your spouse if you are in a relationship in which you are fully committed to each other. Proponents of sperm retention claim that once a person reaches a lengthy streak of retention, such as 90 days or more, there is no way to avoid improvements in sperm quality, spiritual vitality, and other benefits that are related to NoFap. It's true that old habits are hard to break, but bear with me while I elaborate. The question is, how can you tell if you are engaging in NoFap or semen retention? NoFappers do not consider having sex with your girl to be a relapse, even if you ejaculated during the act, because they consider it to be a real intimate relationship. They believe that this is the most healthy form of someone orgasm, as opposed to masturbating to your screen or an imaginary girl. In the practice of sperm retention, having sexual relations is allowed, but ejaculating is not. They say it's possible to have an orgasmic experience during sexual activity without ejaculating, which is a concept that blows my mind yet is, to some extent, plausible. You are aware that a person can orgasm in their head while thinking about it, even if they do not ejaculate. The same is true for the retention of sperm. Permit me to elaborate on this point. Both NoFap and semen retention are 100% safe for your health, despite the fact that relatively few individuals practice them. In point of fact, based on my observations and assumptions, I believe that around 95% of people all over the world are hooked to porn and struggle with their sexual relationships with their spouses. The thing that a lot of people don't realize is that the root cause of all your troubles can sometimes be found and hidden in the particulars that you might not pay attention to. This is something that a lot of people don't know. One of them would have to be masturbation and seeing pornographic material on a compulsive basis. If I may clarify, when I say single, I mean that you do not have an intimate partner with whom you regularly engage in sexual activity. Assuming the number of times you engage in sexual activity is very low, the use of semen retention and NoFap is highly suggested because these supplements enable you to amass and collect a great deal of energy within your body so that you can pursue your objectives. Remember that the sperm from any man can be used to create a kid, which means that sperm is a form of life energy. If you stop throwing your sperm over the walls and screens all the time, you will unequivocally have greater strength on all fronts, including the physical, the cerebral, and the spiritual. How much longer are you able to continue in this mode? Some people have streaks that are extremely long, ranging from 700 to 800 days. It all depends on how busy you are and the kind of lifestyle you have. If this is your first time going on a trip like this, the bare minimum amount of time you should stay is 30 days, but I highly urge that you stay for longer if you have the opportunity. This does not hold true for females in the same way. Why do guys experience the negative impacts of masturbation, even while females can masturbate more frequently without experiencing the same negative effects? Simply said, females do not produce sperm. Hence, the amount of energy that is lost is quite little. Now, if you are a man who is married or in a committed relationship, you shouldn't engage in solo masturbation on porn, and graphic videos or looking at pornographic photographs will be like sliding down a hill, and you will finally jerk off and become nothing but pixels on the screen. You can have intercourse with your spouse without tossing, but for the vast majority of people, this implies that you won't be able to climax simultaneously, which disrupts the harmony on a fundamental level. Assuming that you are not familiar with the concept of orgasm without ejaculating, you have the ability to rotate and circulate the frequency of your ejaculations. Let's say you have sex with your partner 4 times a week, and on one of those occasions, you experience an orgasmic high and ejaculate. Even if you just throw your sperm into your spouse too frequently, the quality of your sperm will decrease, and you will feel fatigued and foggy most of the time. This may sound strange, but it is true. Always keep in mind that your sperm is the source of your manly nature. The further you progress in your weight loss, the wearier you will feel. Do you not believe that becoming drowsy after tossing has anything to do with the situation at hand? Now comes the enjoyable part. Let's investigate the advantages of these 2 routines in terms of the categories of clarity, focus, and sharpness. This one is experienced by heavy PMO addicts because all they can think about is porn and sex, and after sobriety, the mind will rewire and get over this shite. This one is experienced by heavy PMO addicts because all they can think about is porn and sex. Increased self-assurance, particularly in social situations where interaction is required with other individuals. More harmony within your own being. Some guys have told me that after they masturbated, they would psychologically punish themselves by telling themselves that they shouldn't have done what they had just done since it was wrong. Increased productivity and the completion of additional tasks. Pornographic content will, without a doubt, cause you to fritter away your time as if there were no tomorrow. More macho vibe. Some people believe that this is caused by an accumulation of sperm in the body, which tricks the mind into thinking that reproduction is not occurring and that the life mission has not been fulfilled. As a result, the mind sends signals to the body, telling it to produce pheromones that will subconsciously make girls notice you more as a masculine presence in order to reproduce. Although this has not been demonstrated scientifically and is not accurate in my experience, it does have some degree of validity based on my observations. People will pick up on the fact that you have changed in some way. When you are lethargic and lazy as a result of chronic addiction, people will notice a difference in you once you transform into someone who vibrates his energy all over the place. When I say vibrates his energy all over the place, I am not referring to people who scream or laugh out loud. Rather, I am referring to a transformation in which you become someone who, when you see them, makes you feel drawn to be in their presence. You feel a strong desire to spend further time with them. Huge energy. You will notice an increase in your overall energy levels, particularly after the second week of semen retention or without using NoFap. There are moments when you get the urge to turn the world upside down, and if you find yourself drawn to a girl, you feel the desire to approach her and strike up a conversation. The growth of more muscle. Skin continues to improve. If you practice a religion or if you formerly practiced one, you will experience a deeper sense of spiritual connection with your faith if you practice NoFap and semen retention, because viewing pornographic material is frowned upon in the vast majority of world religions. The practice of meditation becomes much simpler and more beneficial. No matter how severe an individual's addiction problem is, using NoFap and maintaining their sperm count can completely transform their lives. Porn in all its forms, along with masturbation and the orgasm that follows it, is the highest kind of self-flagellation that can be inflicted on oneself. When a person becomes addicted to porn in any of its forms, the damage it does is more for males than it is for females. Nonetheless, ladies are also negatively affected when they develop this addiction. That's it for today. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up and also subscribe to this channel. Thanks for watching.